Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talkin Habs. So in this video, I'm going to give you my playoff notes for Game 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Montreal and Toronto, and let's get right into it. So hey everybody, if you are new to this channel, if you're a Habs fan like I am, I would just ask you to please subscribe and ring that notifications bell. That's going to get you all kinds of Habs videos all through these playoffs, through the off season, and through the regular season. And yeah, so subscribe, ring that notifications bell. You'll get your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge right here at Talkin Habs. All right, let's get into this. So I'm going to cover some stuff that I want to keep my lunch down. So I want to get through this stuff real quick first so that I can do that. First off is this. Montreal lost last night 5-1 to Toronto. Was an ugly game by Montreal. And the series is tied at 1-1, which is a good thing. That's one good thing out of it is we're tied 1-1. And I want to say this. Let me just find it because I've got something here that I want to put up there. And I don't know if I made one. Well, I'll just read this here. If going into the series, if you were, if someone told you, oh, don't worry, in Toronto, we're going to split the games 1-1. And we'll come out of it tied and coming into Montreal. I think every one of us, Habs fans, would have said, awesome, that's great. And that's what we've got here, right? They went into Toronto. They split the games there 1-1. And that was really important because Toronto has home ice advantage, which means they've got 4 games at home to Montreal's 3. So if Montreal wants to win this series, they have to win 1 game in Toronto. And they did that. So if that's, so that's it. Now, granted, no, that's right. So if they win their remaining games at home, they will win this series, and it won't go to 7. So let's hope that. If Toronto wins 1 in Montreal, then we're going to have to win another one in Toronto. But the good news there is that we've done it already, and the team knows that it can do that. So that's a good thing. Let's see. A couple of other things to get off the board because why not? It's the first win by Toronto versus the Habs in the playoffs since 1967. So they got that out of the way. And, I'm kind of happy that they did. And I don't know if you just saw that, but I deleted something. And I don't know if it got on in the recording. If it did, I apologize. It is also, you got to say congratulations to Jack Campbell. It's his first ever career playoff victory. And, it doesn't matter what team he plays for. Congratulations to Campbell for doing that. I'm not happy about it or anything, but, got to give a player his due when he's got it, when he deserves his due. I also want to remind you people that I won't be doing a preview for the next. This is kind of maybe preview kind of thing for the 2 games. And I'm going to give my guess the score contest guess at the end of this video. So don't forget, guess the score of the game and the first goal scorer of the game. And you do need those 2 pieces of information to win. And you could win the $10 prize directly into your bank account via Interact. And you can do that in the comment section here or come into the pregame show at 6 p.m. tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. That's right. I'm filming this on Sunday. And you can give your guess there. Don't wait till the game live cast because it's too late at that point once the puck drops. All right, so we got that out of the way. Let's see, anything that I don't really want to talk about. That's because it's Toronto. Now that's pretty much it. Now let's get into kind of what happened in this game, I guess. Okay, so I'll just give you some of my thoughts on it. What happened to me right away? I thought actually in the first 10 minutes of the game, I thought Montreal actually had the better of the play. And at that point, I think once they scored their goal was about 7 minutes and change in. And I thought it went downhill for Montreal. Let's actually look at what happened in the game there, and you'll see what I'm talking about, I guess. So Montreal scored their first goal. Let me get over here so you can see where my cursor is. 7:57 into the first period. It was Kotkaniemi from Armia and Toffoli. And I had actually called KK to get the first goal. That's where my guess went downhill after that. So you can see here, Montreal not good in the face-off circle. 34% to 66. Down the last game, it was 56 to 44% for Montreal. So you see how that went downhill. They only managed 23 shots to Toronto's 34. Not good. Here, for a while, they were losing on this here. The hits they out hit them 44-36. It's a far cry from the 55-27 ratio from game one, and one of the big reasons why I think Montreal, not necessarily, maybe they still would have lost, but they weren't physical enough. Power play, Montreal got only one opportunity, one with zero. I mean, you can't say a power play was shitty. It wasn't a great power play, but one opportunity doesn't say, maybe the next two if they would have got them, and should have had two others, but maybe they score on both of them. Who knows, right? Now, on the Toronto side, they had six. One of them was on the coach's challenge. They were wrong, so they got a penalty fine. So basically, you're looking at a 5-to-1 ratio when there were clearly some other penalties that are on Toronto's part that should have been called, and we'll talk about it, and it wasn't. So I don't know. It's very weird you see 5-to-1 ratio in penalties in a game, especially in a playoff game. So that's kind of odd. We'll talk about the refs after. Yeah, I'm kind of going to make an excuse, but I'm also not. So don't worry about that. I'm not going to make a big excuse for the refs. So it ended up 5-to-1. Spezza answered the KK goal in the first period at 12:25 from Bogosian. Austin Matthews in the second period at 5:15 from Hall and Marner. Rasmus Sandin from Marner and Matthews at 13:20 of the second on the power play. And then in the third, William Nylander on the power play from Matthews and Riley at 8:50, and an empty netter, Kerfoot from Nylander at 18:37. And at that point, Carey Price had been pulled for actually quite a while, which we'll talk about. So these are the stats of the game. If we want to go down here, Price was .879 save percentage in the game, stopping 29 of 33. And Campbell stopped 22 of 23 for a .957 save percentage. And there's what I usually put in a review. Awesome. So let's get out of this. Okay, so yeah, I thought they lacked energy after that first 10 minutes and urgency. They didn't seem to be, there was no urgency and energy. Typical, especially after a good game by Montreal. Come back the next game, and it's not there. And what happened to Montreal's physical dominance? Like I said, you could say they dominated. It was 44-36. 8 hits more. That's not domination. This was a big problem, I think, last night. If they were more physical and banged the bodies more, maybe that would have been different. But I can say this for Toronto. Toronto did it. In their 36 hits, there were some good hits. They were physical. They were gritty. And Montreal didn't really answer to that. I wrote here, Toronto was the tougher team in game 2. I thought they were. They were the tougher team. I don't like saying that. Another thing, there was good flow of this game. Okay, so for most of the game, I didn't find either team had a ton of pressure, although in the second period, Toronto started to get. But basically, Montreal couldn't sustain any pressure in the Toronto zone through the first 2 periods. They got some in the second, but this was something that was missing. No sustained pressure by Montreal most of the game. And you're not going to score if you can't stay in the offensive zone and move the puck around, take some shots. I mean, you're not going to score. And if you don't get in the middle of the slot, you're not going to score. They didn't do that. Okay, I think that's it on my comment on the game. Listen, basically, that's the story of the game. Montreal started out well, got the first goal, and it went downhill from there, and they just were not able at all with the style they were playing, with the guys on the ice, to mount any kind of a comeback and sustain any kind of pressure and really get much that wasn't from the perimeter. So, I mean, you can't win games like that. Let's get something off the board now because we're going to talk about it. And that is the referee controversy. Okay, I got two points on this. And so hear me out before you. I know you're going to say screaming at while you're watching the video, but hear me out for a sec. First of all, I'm going to say, I wonder if I wanted to. Well, I'm going to say this. So if the coach of the losing team, and again, he's a losing team, so maybe he's crying sour grapes, right? I mean, maybe. But the players also, when asked about the penalties and all that kind of stuff, when they're barely holding their tongues back from actually calling out the refs, but basically calling out the refs without calling them out, right? And saying it without really saying it directly, right? I mean, so there has to be something to the complaint. Because you usually don't see that. I know there's plenty of games where I'm pissed at the refs. Everybody's pissed at the refs, and you don't hear a peep from the team about the refs, right? And then here's a case where it's kind of the same thing, but now there's something to this. There's something to it tonight, and I don't care what anybody wants to say that, it's a weak argument and it's an excuse and all that. And I get that, and I do get that. But there's something to it when that's the case. They missed a knee from Simons on Perry. They missed a spear on Toffoli from Kerfoot. And there was a boarding call I thought should have been a call on KK. I don't remember who it was that boarded KK, but that's what I saw that I thought was missed. On the other end, they called Montreal, Paul Byron, on a boarding call that I thought was not more egregious than the other one. And just, in general, I thought they missed a lot of calls on Montreal, for Montreal, that they should have called. And it kind of made it stand out to me. Now, that being said, right, that's the whiny part of it, and I get that. That's the excuse part. Whatever, I get it. But that being said, fact remains this. Montreal scored 1 goal in this game. Right? And, second period was marred by a lot of penalties against, and I get that, but there were 2 other periods where they got 1 goal. So when you're going to score only 1 goal in a game, it doesn't matter if refs are calling a bad game. It doesn't matter almost whatever else happens. If you're only scoring 1 goal in the game, you're not going to win. That's just in general, right? How many times out of 100 are you going to win scoring 1 goal in a game? 1? Maybe? So that's the bottom line. Bad refs or not, they scored only 1 game. And believe me, there were bad refs last night. That's my personal opinion. You want to argue that point with me? You can. The refs were bad, but it's still Montreal scored only 1 goal. And that's just how it is. And here, I made it. Let me not waste this. I made this. Habs score only 1 goal, and you can't win games like that, especially in the playoffs. Bad refs or not, that's the truth. Maybe that's not a popular opinion. I don't know, but that's my opinion. By the way, my playoff beard, I'm not liking it. The weather's a little cooler, so okay, but I'm not liking this. I don't know how long this will last. I'm going to try. Let's see what's up next. I should have numbered these things. Coach's challenge. So, Toronto scores a goal. Third or fourth goal, I don't remember which. I think it was the third. Third goal. And Joe Thornton was in front of the net as the puck comes in to Carey Price. And quite frankly, I agree with Jeff. If you watch my videos, you know who Jeff is. That the puck was past Price by the time Thornton touched him with his stick. And if Thornton touched him with his stick to the point where he interfered with Price, I can guarantee you this thing, and I said it in the live stream last night, how come Price didn't say anything about that? Price would have said, signaled, done something. He would have been upset in some way that was interference, and he did nothing because there was no interference. And quite frankly, Ducharme didn't want to call that. He didn't want to challenge that. But you could see on the they showed it. Mark Bergevin pointing to on the screen. Oh, there it is. What? What did he see? I don't know what he saw because I didn't. I mean, it wasn't clearly defined. First of all, any of the replays, you couldn't. There's no way that you could see anything that would overturn a goal. No way. And so it was done. They came off of 2 penalties in a row, and this was going to be another one. So your penalty killers are tired. You're taxing your team to make a challenge that is really iffy. Bad move. A very bad move. Luckily, Toronto didn't score on the penalty that they got for challenging and being wrong. So I just thought that was a really bad move. I don't get it. I just didn't see. I don't know. Oh, that's enough said about that. It just, you're already in a hole and you want to make it worse, and that's what that was about. Hi. Let me see if I got anything else now. We'll get through the game stuff, I guess. First, so basically, I mean, that's how the game went. There was good flow to the game. Like I said, only Toronto really getting any sustained pressure. But Montreal had a few chances. I don't know. They really weren't mounting all that much. And then with six, I put here with about 6 minutes left. But I think I've confirmed it was about 6.5 minutes left. So Price is pulled with about 6.5 minutes left. Now, I thought that was a bit early. At that point, it's a 4-1 game. It's very unlikely they're going to score 3 goals. But I mean, if you're the team that's behind, you can't look at it and say, well, it's unlikely we're going to do it, so let's not do it. You have to do everything you can to win the game. Because, quite frankly, there has been times when it has happened that teams have come back in that short a period of time from deficits like that and even bigger ones and have won. So you can't give up. But it was unlikely, but still, pulling the goalie probably was the right thing. It put them up. Like they're on a power play. Not that their power play was that great, but they did get some good chances, and almost got a goal anyway. And you have to try. That's the whole point. If they didn't try, maybe it's the wrong attitude, and that leads to, I don't know, giving up farther down the road. You don't give up. It doesn't matter, even if there's only a minute left. You don't give up, because that's the way it is. And it has happened in the history of the game where teams even in a minute have scored 3 goals, and so it could have happened. So he was pulled. I thought that was a good call in the end. I thought it was a good call because they went for it, and hopefully that's an attitude change. I guess that's what I was saying, and hopefully we'll see some changes to the lineup in that direction of the attitude change. We're gonna get to that. Before we do, though, I forgot one piece here. Weber was fined, and I found this out just before I started filming. Weber was fined $5,000, which is the maximum they're allowed to be fined, for a cross-check on Simons, which is fine. I mean, it's fine. Doesn't mean anything to Weber. Fines don't mean anything. And in the end, what I'm going to say here doesn't mean anything, but it just points to, is there bias here? I believe there's some bias. You can argue it, whatever. I think there's some bias because Kerfoot speared Toffoli, and Toffoli was mad. If you watched the game, you saw he was yapping at the refs about it. Okay, so they don't call it, but maybe give him a fine after. You're obviously looking at the game and fining Weber after the fact. So I guess not. Right? I guess not. And any of the other incidents, but that one, a spear. Isn't a spear basically a spear? What is it if it's not an intent to injure? Who spears anybody without trying to hurt them? I don't know. So why is that not fined? Why wasn't it called? That's a different story. Why was it not fined? I don't get it. So just to say, I think there's bias with the refs. That's one of the, another piece of that case that we're trying to build. All right. I think all I've got left is the lineups. Now, this is really going to seem crazy to you guys. So I got the lineups in the Guess the Score contest. But, and I don't know the validity of this, but I got it from Eric Engels. The reason I questioned the validity is it was from last night at 20. Oh, I don't even remember the time. No, it was posted this morning, but he tweeted it last night. And I don't know how after the game he knew the lineups. But it's Eric Engels, so either he was making a joke or not. But I do have, when I wrote it down here, new lines, and I question marked them because, well, I'll read them to you. I won't read them to you. I'm going to show you. Let me make sure I put up the right ones. Because I got my lines that I think should come across. Yeah, here we go. This is what Eric Engels is reporting are going to be the lines. Well, they're the lines supposedly in practice today. Toffoli, Suzuki, Perry, Byron, Danoa, Anderson, Tatar, Stahl, Gallagher, Lehkonen, KK, Armia, Sherratt, Weber, Edmondson, Petrie, Kulak, Merrill. I'm going to read you what I wrote in response to that. Are you effing kidding me? Holy shit. the line blender is out of control or something, or is there a batshit crazy setting we don't know about? Like, I don't get that. If that's the lines they're looking to go with, first of all, if anyone expecting Caulfield, he's not in that. Romanov, not in that. So that's something. And you know what? I said in the live stream last night that everyone's going to be expecting Caulfield in tomorrow's game. And I'm going to say, I said my hot take is he's not going to be in the lineup. They're going to wait till they're out of it. That's what I feel, right? So now I'm going to give you my lines. And yes, Caulfield's in my lines because these are the lines I'd like to see for tomorrow. But I don't think Caulfield's going to be in there tomorrow. Now, I want to say this on that is I'd rather see them lose playing the kids and giving them experience that they suppose they don't have, so they can't go in the lineup, than lose with this embarrassing bunch of aging veterans who can't string together 2 effing wins. 2 effing good games. I won't even say wins. How about that? 2 freaking good games. So maybe the kids deliver the same thing, but they get some freaking experience because these older guys are not doing it. And after a game like last night, and you look at the first game, and you wonder, well, what was in the first game? Well, it was obvious. They were affected by Toronto was greatly affected by what happened to Tavares, and Montreal took advantage of it. And if it looked like in this other game that they can't take advantage of it other than that. So we'll have to see. Okay, just getting long-winded. This is my lines. If I'm the coach, I think this is who I'm going to go with. Now, I will say I can adjust. There's an adjustment I would make, maybe. Byron, Deneau, Gallagher, line 1. Yes, Deneau needs to be line 1 to take on all the big lines and all that. And there is some chemistry with him and Gallagher. No, Tatar's playing like crap anyway. Byron is the kind of guy that can get in there. He's sneaky. He's fast. And he can get those, like, some spectacular goals. Backhands, this guy can for a game or two easily play in the top 6. I have no problem with it. Second line, Suzuki in between Toffoli and Anderson. They've played together. You got size with Anderson, speed with Toffoli and Anderson mostly. I thought there's some chemistry there, and I think these guys can score some goals. Line 3, KK moves up to line 3. Stahl comes out. He's in between Lehkonen, who's defensively responsible, and if you complain about that with Caulfield, well, Lehkonen will help to offset some of that. He's also fast, and he can pull the trigger sometimes. KK, obviously, playmaker, and I'm leaving it up here while I talk just so that you guys can see it. Caulfield, I think, with KK as the playmaker could really be good. Now, I know this is where you could move him around. Either you could put him on the second line with Suzuki, and I get that, and I would do that too. And have Anderson go with KK and Lehkonen, and that's fine. So that, to me, is interchangeable there. And fourth line, Perry, Evans, and Armia. And maybe you rest Perry, maybe not. I don't know. On the defense, Edmondson, who is a stay-at-home defenseman, with Petrie, who's a puck-moving defenseman. Kulak, who is not a typical maybe puck mover, but he can move the puck. And Weber, who stay-at-home defenseman. Sherratt, stay-at-home defenseman with Romanov, who is a puck-moving defenseman and a brutal hitter and a physical force. And I'd rather see that against Toronto in the next game than what we saw last night. All right, that's we're time for Guess the Score contest. If you guess the score of the game, and if you guess the first goal scorer of the game, and you enter that by making a comment in this video or going into the pregame show and in the chat commenting, then you could win a $10 prize directly into your bank account via Interact. And I'm going to give you my score for the Guess the Score contest. Now, I said in the last game that for the last one that I am not taking the Leafs. I don't care whatever the reason, I'm not taking them, and that's going to continue here. I'm not. Do I think the Leafs can win here next game? Yeah, of course I do. I mean, yeah. I'm not picking them, though. And I'm going with this. 4-3 Montreal with Byron. Byron getting the first goal. I'm going with Byron. That's I don't know why exactly, but I'm going with Byron. Listen, Byron had a really good game winner, shorthanded goal. I mean, that was a beautiful goal. That was just a beautiful goal. And why not let it carry over into this game? And if he's playing in the first line, he's going to have the opportunity to get that first goal. And yeah, so I'm going with that. There you go. So there you go. Next, I'll just go over this here. Next game is on the 24th. That is Monday at 7 p.m. The pregame show is at 6 p.m. Hopefully you'll come in and check that out. And then I'll be back at 7 p.m. for the game live cast. So hope to see you there. Tuesday's game. Tuesday's game is still unknown. Still, I just looked before I'm filming this. Still listed as to be determined. So we're 2 days away, and they don't know what freaking time it's going to be. So hopefully they won't surprise us, and it'll be at 5 o'clock. I hope that doesn't happen. It doesn't leave a lot of turnaround for me. So, yeah, so that's what we got. Thanks for watching, everybody, for this very long-winded notes. It's basically my news and notes on the Game 2 and my thoughts on the upcoming game, Game 3 in Montreal. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm all. Yeah. Stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. And leave any comments with the guests for the guests to score in the comment section. Give a thumbs up if you like the video. Please subscribe and ring that notifications bell if you haven't already, and that'll get you your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge right here at Talkin. Habs. See, I switched them around. And that's it. Bye, everybody. See you next time.